Yo, good evening, good people. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. And you got the super team of sports talk here with y'all on one half of it. Diego Barishnikov. They call me the Black Dominican Russian. And I'm here as always with my man, my partner in crime. I call him the 6 foot and under post up champ. Tell these people who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, broadcasting live on a Tuesday. Kicking it. About to go through this week one. You can tell we back to work. We ain't been on in a Tuesday in a minute.
Yeah, man. Probably since last football season.
Yeah. So what's good, man?
Man, everything is good. Everything is good. Week one is in the books. Of course, we're gonna recap that. Recap all the week one action with y'all in the scores. Also, we got overreaction, real talk segment. We're gonna try to discuss, and we also want to gauge y'all interest out there. What you think was real after week one, and what you may want to pump the brakes on just a little bit. So we'll be touching on that, and then also some other news and notes going on around the league. But as always, we can't get started really without thanking y'all for tuning in to us. Whether you watch us on the YouTube channel or you listen to us on the podcast platform, whether it be Spreaker or iTunes, again, your support is greatly appreciated. Again, this is episode 186. Episode 186 of AA Sports. So don't forget to share that content with your friends. We appreciate y'all as always.
Yes, sir.
All right. Uncle Hate. Week one. A lot of surprises. Some disappointments, I guess you can say. Lot went on in week one. It was definitely get injured and injure your clavicle week.
Yes.
You know, we had about 3 or 4 people break or fracture collarbones. Some going on IR, some not. You know, so that was a big thing that stood out to me week one. Also some sloppy play, of course, which is kind of be expected.
Yeah, with these cats not playing preseason at all now, you know, really week one, maybe week 2 might be the new preseason.
Yeah, this kind of felt, for some teams, it kind of felt like an extension of preseason. I think you can especially tell in some of the teams that didn't play either their quarterback or their stars and their quarterback, Cleveland, together at all during the preseason. Right. And it definitely showed week one. So let's jump right on into it. As we were recording last Thursday, it was right before the kickoff of the first game, which is the Green Bay Packers and the Bears. Yeah. I think you took Green Bay. I know I took Chicago. The game was a dud. I mean, Green Bay won 10-3. But both offenses looked like they had not played preseason
at all.
And the defenses played really well, actually. Green Bay's defense, we know they got to revamp defenses. Defense, a lot of new pieces coming in. They're going to be something I'm going to keep an eye on, because Trubisky and that Bears offense was horribly bad.
Terrible.
The play calling, lack of run game, running attempts, even try to establish a run game. That was definitely something to keep an eye on. So I don't know how to really look at Green Bay's defense as of yet.
Well, you know, we got that on here under our overreaction, so we can jump in that one real quick. I think we need some time, like you said, to see this defense, the Green Bay defense, that is, against a good offense, because that shit Chicago put out there last week. And, you know, I know everybody's throwing Trubisky under the bus. He was trash, but I got to bring it back around to the coach, too. He stopped running the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, if your quarterback's not effective throwing, it makes more sense for him to throw more. He threw the ball 45 times.
In a one-score game. That's the part that's asinine to me. It's like it was a close game the whole time. You had no reason to go away from the run.
Yeah, and hell, every time he threw the ball, it was towards Allen Robinson. You weren't really trying to get nobody else involved. So I need to see a little bit more on this Green Bay defense. But I got to raise a glass to him, man. when the last time you seen them spend money in the offseason on free agent that actually paid off for them? You know, maybe if they'd have been doing this 4 or 5 years ago, dead in the middle of Aaron's prime, you might have another one or two, perhaps. So, you know, they got it done ugly. Aaron didn't look good, but like you said, you know, it's basically preseason. I am concerned about who their number 2 wide receiver is. That concerns me.
Yeah, and that's another reason that Green Bay's offense kind of stalled out. They didn't run the ball all that good or that many times either. And we know this whole offseason has been a thing about LaFleur's running style offense, and he wants to dictate what plays are run, and versus, you know, Aaron want to, of course, throw the ball and check out of certain things. It was pretty, I think LaFleur early saw that they probably were not going to be able to run the ball against Chicago very well. And you know, he went ahead and turned it over to Aaron, and that didn't fare much better, but then they did enough to win.
They did.
They did enough to win. So, I mean, the Bears, like you said, it was just terrible all the way around. It ain't all Trubisky's fault. Like you said, it starts with the coach and the play calling there. You got to have more balance. Trubisky, he was off on a lot of throws, high, low, off. Then when he was on target with throws, you had receivers dropping balls. It was a clusterfuck all around for Chicago. But luckily, season's not over in the week, so they got a chance to rebound this weekend.
My last thing on this: how you think them fans feel when they saw what Mahomes did down there in Jacksonville? They saw what Deshaun Watson did on Monday, and they could have took either one of them at 2, either one of them, instead of reaching for Trubisky.
Yeah, because you know,
that's
regardless of what,
technically that's your fault.
Nah, we just picked up the phone as always. And we'll get to my quarterback here and let you know a little bit later on. But yeah, it's hard to have that revisionist thought. But even if you just go back and look at Watson, I probably wouldn't put Mahomes in that category because I didn't know much about Mahomes from Texas Tech myself. We knew he was in that Big 12 style play, and you know, I know myself, I'm kind of skeptical how that doesn't always translate to the NFL. Yeah. But with Trubisky, the accolades definitely weren't in comparison to Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely,
definitely not. So we'll see how it goes. Next up, got the Atlanta Falcons. They laid an egg this weekend, losing 28-12 against Minnesota. I saw a little bit of the old Matt Ryan in this game.
A lot of them.
A couple of those picks, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
He caught them happy feet. You know, when that rush be on him, you know, Matt then he throwing the ball from his knees. You know, yeah, that I would feel more. I mean, I know they had a lot of turnovers, which led to, you know, the field position Minnesota had, but you got beat by a team where the quarterback only threw the ball 10 times.
And completed 8 passes for 98 yards. That is the funny part. I mean, like you said, it's all about when you turn the ball over. They got the block punt that started it off. They turned it over, and they on their own end with the other pick that Matt threw. And then a couple times where they did get down the field into scoring drives, you had Devontae Freeman fumbling the ball. That ended the possession. And then Matt threw another interception, I think, in the end zone.
Devontae didn't look good Sunday.
And I was going to wait till we got a little bit further into the analysts of this game. I don't think he's going to be the back come next year. I mean, this is 1 week. This is 1 week, but still, you know, he's coming off basically 2 injury-plagued seasons. He's got a pretty nice cap hit next year. I saw a little bit of regression. We'll see how it goes, but yeah.
Remember how he used to explode through that hole?
It wasn't looking that way, was it?
No. I was like, damn, life comes at you fast. This cat looks slow now. But they took an injury on their offensive line. One of those first-round picks they drafted broke his foot. So
Lindstrom or something to that effect. I think I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but the guard. They starting guard, Ricky Gard.
Mike Zimmer said he wanted to get back to running the ball.
He did it.
They did. And people, if Dalvin Cook is healthy, he a problem.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it Sunday because I know we were sitting here trying to scramble and think of comeback player of the year candidates. And I said Lev Bell. That was the only one that came to mind. Dalvin Cook could be right in that group if he's gonna have this kind of season.
Yes, sir. He gonna get the work. He looked like Florida State, Dalvin Cook. But you know the thing with him is he gonna be available every Sunday? So
and it's funny them playing each other, Minnesota and Atlanta. Him and Freeman going to the same high school in Miami, out of Central High School in Miami.
I didn't know that.
He looks like Freeman looked a few years ago. That's how he looked Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So we know
Hell, I
Dalvin
like
Cook.
their backup, Madison. He was running hard too.
Yeah, I mean they were gashing Atlanta in the run game. So we talk about Kirk Cousins only completing 8 out of 10 passes for 98 yards. He really didn't have to throw.
No, he really didn't have to. Julio, they cashed you out this weekend. You get your hands on the ball. I need you to bring them down a little bit more than what you were doing Sunday. He was getting his hands on a lot of balls, and they weren't coming down.
Yeah.
Really wasn't. Maybe he was weighed down by that $64 million guaranteed.
You know, maybe so. Maybe so. But this week, Atlanta got a tough test, so they really got to come with it. They got Philly coming into town Sunday night. You know, so they got to rebound quick.
That Philly, they're gonna travel. Philly fans,
Well, that game gonna be lit. Sunday night game here in Atlanta. That game gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. Shout out to Kane and Ice. What up, fellas? Anything else on that game before we move to the next one?
That's all we got.
All right. So next up, we got your boys, Carolina Panthers. Close game, 30-27. Y'all took an L to the Rams. Even though the Rams put up 30 points, I watched this game, or what I could watch of it from Red Zone, but I did not see the team that you saw early last year that scared people. I didn't see the team that went toe to toe with the Chiefs in that game, that Monday night game where the score ended up being 51-50 or whatever it was. I didn't see that.
Right.
Todd Gurley.
When you had that issue with as far as with him down there in the box, it was a different game. Now that they know they can just throw everybody out there on him, it's different. They don't look remotely the same at all. Yeah. It's basically the same crew. They're bringing the same players back, and they're not remotely explosive like they were. So, and Goff did not look good. I'm saying that considering what Cam did. Don't be fooled by numbers, people. He was 65% completions, but Cam didn't look good in that game. And if they keep saying he healthy, he keeps saying he healthy. Cam didn't throw that ball down the field. He did not. So that's a bit of a concern. And from what I was reading today, they had a metric in regards to how fast he was getting it out of his hands, faster than normal. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, has Cam caught the Eli's where he gonna get that ball out his hand real quick to avoid getting hit? Sometimes, it can become a mental thing with that, as far as, well, we don't want you to run to avoid getting hurt. But, I wonder if they done messed him up in the head like that a bit. I wonder.
Well, it's probably, and you tell me or not, but, they talking about changing his throwing motion and everything.
Right.
So that, that it's probably got something to do with that. But that's a hard thing to do as far as changing your throwing motion when you that deep into your career. Cam, 30? Give or take.
About to be 31.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care how hard you work in the offseason, especially when you're coming off shoulder surgery. I don't know how much work they really got in as to changing his throwing motion and overhauling it. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to end up being enough work where he won't fall back into his comfort zone as the season goes. I can see him basically falling back to how he's always passed the ball, because that's what he's going to be comfortable with. When the pressure comes, or whatever, you're going to fall back to what you know.
One thing I've come to realize, Christian McCaffrey, best player on our team right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it used to be Cam. People would say Luke Kuechly, but I think it's clearly Christian right now.
Yeah. The Rams are a solid defense, and he did what he wanted to do the whole game. So, we got to bounce back this week. We got Tampa Bay on Thursday, short week. I keep saying it, man. Cam's playing for a contract.
Yeah, with 2 turnovers this
a fumble and an interception. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, the completion percentage was cool, but you got to put points on the board. We got We did better second half. Our kicker got a new kicker. He missed the field goal that would have, gave us 3 points that would have tied the game. Didn't happen. So, week 1, we'll see what happens. Next
All
up,
right.
let's spend some time
Absolutely.
on this one.
All right. So next up, we got the Tennessee Titans going up to Cleveland and dog walking the Cleveland Browns, 43-13. Cleveland came out first.
Right?
Yeah, the Browns.
The off-season Super Bowl champions, right?
I mean, Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback. Nah, I ain't gonna go that far. But yeah, the off-season talk champions, the Cleveland Browns, 43-13. I mean, they came out, first drive of the game, walked right down the field. It looked like it was about to be a happy day in Cleveland. Yep. That was about all they did all game.
Man, I'd be more. I'm good with the picks when I win the picks, but I'd be more upset with the ones where I really wanted to pick, but I got scared. I wanted to take Tennessee in that game. I really wanted to take them.
But Mariota,
I like.
You don't know what the passing.
No holes. That's the thing. They're gonna play you hard wherever they are. Just like you said, Mariota scares me. So, but man, I didn't see 43-13, dog.
No, I didn't see that, and it just kind of snowballed. But I will say this, and I'll put I think they are on the list. Yeah, they are number 2 as far as overreaction to real talk. I'll pump the brakes on Cleveland. I don't think they're anywhere near as bad as they played this week, because you got to factor in, and this was one of the main team I was talking about. Baker didn't play with none of the stars. Jarvis Landry, OBJ. I don't think Njoku played any during preseason. No. You're not just going. I don't care if you went through all the camp and practices or whatever. And I think OBJ missed some practice time toward the later part of camp. Yeah. But you can't just walk out there week 1 and expect all this shit to click. And then on top of that, you don't have a coach with any experience to be able to tell you in game how to kind of make certain adjustments.
Let me ask you about him too. On our personal chat Sunday, a couple of the homies was like, he playing for his job this year, and I'm like, he just got the job. You don't think this cat's in trouble if he mess up this season, do you?
I mean, you never know. I take my 49ers. We fired 2 coaches in 2 years. Sometimes
Steve will tell him. He on his staff. He'll tell him, man, get this shit together.
Yeah, so you never can tell. A lot of it depends on how much faith the organization actually have in you. Are you their guy, or is it a new regime coming in? That they don't have no ties when it comes to that.
I just say it's hard though, but I guess you're right. People have done it before.
Yeah, but he's got a lot to prove. I think they give him more than 1 year, because I think they're still going to be anywhere from around an 8 to 9 win team at the end of the day. Because I think it's just too much talent on that team for them not to win ball games. This is just not a good start here.
They got the Jets on Monday night, which is the national stage. Right. I think they're going to show up and ball that game.
Yeah, I do as well. Now they lose that game.
Whoo.
Yeah, it's the heat gonna get turned up real quick, real quick. And when the heat start getting turned up,
that's a very attractive job. You said it pretty much every position. Well, that offensive line did not look good on Sunday at all.
Yeah, that's true. But another thing before I forget, we talk about Tennessee's defense. I expected Cleveland's offense to not click all the way for reasons that we just said, but I expected more from this defense.
Oh yeah.
I expected more from this defense this game, but
you got first round picks everywhere. Not to say that means everything, but they added to the defensive line. I don't know the linebackers. I don't think outside of the number 1 pick. Well, he's a defensive end. I don't really know where they are on the line, but Gary Henry shouldn't be going 80 yards on no screen pass on y'all. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, and he never looks like he's moving fast to me. I swear it looks like he runs a 5.4 40. All right.
But they don't want to get in front of him.
Yeah. But yeah. So the Browns gotta come with it. Next up, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, Hollywood Brown, and Mark Ingram and company. 59-10 over the Miami Dolphins. Now, we said we can't really take a lot into consideration after 1 week. But one thing I'm pretty confident on saying is that Miami's already they are done, right? We
Them dudes quit already. Yeah.
If you have players after the game week 1 calling their agent saying, "Get me the hell out of here," as some of the reports were saying,
Yeah.
that might be a problem.
What's that shit they say in college? He lost institutional control.
Ain't no if you lose institutional control, the next thing you're gonna be losing is your job.
Hey, we felt bad for him for taking his job off top. That might have been, he should have pulled that McDaniels right there. Like, nah, I'm gonna stay on up here in Foxborough.
But as soon as then he took the job, and then they started taking all the players away, like all of them. So I don't know what Flores is gonna do. Of course, it's a rebuild. Hopefully, they give that man a chance to help them rebuild because it's not gonna be this year. They're gonna take a lot of lumps, but they got to come out and play with more fucking heart than that.
Cause he going out there in front of the press conference every week talking about we ain't tanking. We focused on winning. Meanwhile, the GM on the phone selling all the players.
Right. Exactly. But
But
enough about the losers, man. Let's give Lamar Jackson and the Ravens some props.
yeah.
No.
Lamar
Now,
good, man. Now he only threw the ball 20 times. He only threw it 20, but he had 5 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown's really fast.
yeah.
He only had 12 snaps, dog.
Hollywood
only had 12 snaps. Had all those yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm pretty sure he'll get more. And we was talking about this game last week. I told you that was one of the things I wanted to see, or it might have been we was doing the division breakdowns early in camp. But I wanted to see how Hollywood and Lamar Jackson hooked up because he's a deep threat. I want to see how Lamar's deep ball is looking. So far so good this week 1. But again, they played Miami, so we got to temperament it a little bit. It's not going to be that easy every week because we predicted last week that Lamar was going to only throw the ball between, I think I said 17 times. I think you gave him 20. I think you hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
They scored 59 points, and he only threw the ball 20 times. And he only ran it 3, I think.
Only ran it 3 times. That's it.
So that kind of lets you know it was a lot of turnovers, a lot of things that Miami wasn't doing that helped the Ravens just kick their ass.
And Flores, at this point, last thing on Miami, go ahead and keep Rosen in. Y'all tanking. See what you got with him. Why are you running Fitzmagic out there?
Exactly.
Just leave Rosen in. Keep it moving.
Exactly. All right. But yeah, shout out to the Ravens, man. Shout out to the Ravens. No, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media saying people hating on them and Lamar because they're saying, well, they only played Miami. I'm not hating on them at all. I'm just saying, I'm just being realistic. You're not going to play Miami every week.
Nope.
And let's not act like there were not legit reasons to have question marks or concerns about Lamar's throwing going forward. So
what they need to be concerned with is if he figures this shit out. We saw what he did last year when all he did was run. Don't let him figure out how to throw. That should be the concern. So
because if he starts dicing defenses up, and then you have to start running coverages and man-to-mans where you got your back turned to him,
good luck.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck. Good luck.
Hey,
all right.
Next up.
Yep.
My man Josh Allen. I'm starting to call him Captain Comeback, or as we like to refer to him from time to time, White Cam. Come back on him, dog. The Buffalo Bills, 17-16 over the Jets, and they were down damn near this whole game. Damn near.
Jets. I just knew the Jets had this game wrapped up. I mean, Lev Bell ain't played football in 600 and however many days, and he was pretty much doing Lev Bell.
He looked good.
I was more impressed by the receiving.
Yes.
The catching of the ball, especially the touchdown that he caught in the end zone. The boy got talent. Now they need a little bit more receiving help, and today they traded for Bebe, Demaryius Thomas, from the Patriots. That's interesting that the Patriots and the Jets did a deal. But hopefully that can help them get some more receiving options. I think they can definitely use it.
Well, they said Robbie Anderson, he played Sunday, but he was nicked up. You got a noon one. Jamison Crowder had 14 balls but had under 100 yards. That means he was nothing but the line of scrimmage. Nothing but. But
Yeah, and he's always been pretty much like a little small tight end to me, because he gonna work. He'll slot receiver, but he really a slot receiver.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I don't have too
um,
much on this. Buffalo plays hard.
mm,
Um, they I didn't expect. I think they won 7 games last year. I didn't expect them to get that. So, keep
mm,
developing this quarterback. Get these early wins in now before it starts snowing like crazy in Buffalo.
yeah.
So,
Um,
Darnold didn't look great in that game to me.
no, he didn't. Another thing, somebody actually pointed it out, brought it to my attention because I didn't watch this whole game. Again, another game I was trying to follow on Red Zone.
Yeah.
But when C.J. Mosley went out of this game, New York defense looked a little different, and that's when Buffalo started to try to not try. They actually did get back in the game and actually won it. But that's going to be something big to keep an eye on. I can't remember what he hurt. I think it was a hamstring. No, groin. It was a groin. It was a groin. So he had a tender groin. So depending on how they go, they may have to keep him out.
They got $85 million tied up into him. You want to protect your investment. So.
Yep, pretty much. All right. Next up, this game started out kind of crazy. The Redskins going up to Philly. Redskins look like they might be able to take it, but again, it's a 60-minute game. Philly finally woke up and then decided
maybe
they
somebody
hit
told them the game started 2 instead of 1.
Maybe that's what it was. But they came back. Deshaun Jackson, big return to Philly. If him and Carson Wentz,
I don't
know about that. You could be
for a while, homie, and he's still fast as hell.
Yeah, he is, because he like 33 probably.
I think he played toward the end there with McNabb. I really think so.
He may have. But yeah, he came in and definitely gave Philly offense a spark. They come back to win 33-32 over the Redskins. Like you said, once they actually woke up, Carson Wentz, he looked pretty good. They got weapons galore
everywhere.
Now they had a big injury.
If you got Ertz and Alshon underneath, I don't even think I didn't hear Aguilar's name much or none. And you got Djax taking the top off the defense. Who the hell you gonna double?
Yeah, you ain't really doubling nobody. You better buckle up that chin strap and get the covering.
Right.
So that's Philly offense gonna be potent, because Doug Peterson gonna play. He gonna call the plays. That's gonna put him in. That's gonna put him in position. Now Philly's defense, the secondary at the beginning of the game, at least, it was looking like it looked the beginning of last year.
Right.
Which is very suspect. Right. Now they had a big injury. Malik Jackson, he had a Lisfranc injury, so they ruled him out, I think, for the season today.
Yeah, he's gone for the season.
But they've got some depth on that defensive line, so hopefully they can come in and pick up that slack. But that's a big, potentially a big loss for them.
Man, Josh Norman spent most of the game looking at the back of people's jerseys.
I don't know who got burnt more this weekend, him or Marshawn Lattimore last night. No, not Marshawn Lattimore. P.J. Williams.
Or Eli Apple too.
Yeah. You know what? The whole damn secondary.
Yeah.
The whole damn secondary for New Orleans was getting toasted last night. We'll get to them in a minute, not to get too far off track. But
Washington should have. They had a good chance to win this game, but I would be concerned about the Philly defense if they let Case Keenum throw for 380 yards. Yeah, I would be concerned. They couldn't run the ball. Darius Geis got hurt again, but extended preseason basically.
Yeah, come to find out, Geis' injury is to the opposite leg from where he tore the ACL. It's a meniscus in this knee. Now they talking about they're gonna see how it go. If you had a back that just came off a ACL and then he comes right in first game and has a meniscus injury, you might want to just go ahead and sit him down for a couple of weeks.
Meniscus kind of holds the knee together.
Yeah. So yeah, you might want to reevaluate that, throwing him right back out there.
Yeah.
All right. So,
that's all I got on them. Sucker move by Jay Gruden for not dressing, for giving AP a healthy scratch. That was a sucker move. You ain't have to play Adrian Peterson. You ain't have to. But a healthy scratch. You telling me Wendell Smallwood is that important to what y'all got going forward? And Adrian
Well,
Peterson gave 1,000 yards last year.
now the only explanation I heard, and this is why a lot of coaches are going. I know my coach, Kyle Shanahan, is one of the coaches in the forefront of this, trying to get this change to change this to get more active slots, more than just 53 available on Sundays.
Right.
Because the excuse or the reasoning for not dressing AP was because of special teams help.
You don't do special teams.
Right. So I mean, if that's what you want to lean on, so be it. I just can't myself see Adrian Peterson not being dressed for a football game.
And he had to go in there. Well, he probably sent the running back coach to tell him so. You up this Sunday, because I'm sure he didn't go talk to him himself after the healthy scratch. So,
I'm not sure how Jay Gruden still has a job. Yeah, but
all right, let's jump on down to the KC Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I jumped off a cliff with this one, and I took Jacksonville to win this game, and that shit did not look good the first quarter. And them dudes fast down there.
Even before Foles got hurt, right?
Yeah, if Sammy Watkins is gonna revert back to Clemson Sammy Watkins, this league in trouble.
Hey, and say again, I keep prefacing it, but I gotta just say it, but I know it's only week 1, but if Sammy Watkins gonna play like that, put him in that group for comeback player of the year. Well, he didn't. Yeah. He went hurt last year, but you get my point. Hey, the first thing I thought about was when he was burning whoever he was burning before Tyreek got hurt, and then Jalen ended up switching on him. I was like, they should have took my advice and put Jalen on Sammy Watkins and bracketed Tyreek Hill's little ass. Yeah, because Tyreek Hill he was getting loose. A little bit before he got hurt, and Sammy Watkins was killing it. He was killing it.
Yes, he was killing it. You got them two fast-ass dudes on the outside. You got Travis Kelce, around the middle. Man, that's good luck, man. Good luck. But Tyreek Hill did get hurt. So it's a chest injury, or is it clavicle as well?
He's got a clavicle as well. Now his is not to the extent where he's going to need surgery, and he's not going on IR, but he of course will miss a little bit of time. So I think the thing Andy Reid is going to do, from what he said so far, is Mecole Hardman is going to take over some of Tyreek Hill's kind of routes and responsibilities within the offense. So yeah, if you can keep Sammy Watkins upright, and Mecole Hardman can grow a little bit faster than you probably want a rookie to grow this early in the season due to the injury to Tyreek. Keep it all afloat. Mahomes he had 300 plus yards in the first half. I mean, they still gonna put up points. They still should be fine. The defense still no. No.
They spent some money this summer, but it did not look. This dude who Jacksonville brought in was eating hot dogs when he got the call to go in and came in and went to work on them. Yeah,
he did.
Do you think we're going to see Jacksonville's defense ever again?
I was just about to ask you, how now with Foles being out and not expected back till deep in the season, week 11, I think at the earliest they said, is their season already over?
I kind of feel like it is.
And going back to the discipline or lack thereof with this team, what the fuck, Miles Jack? It's like same shit.
Lost his damn mind. And then they want to leave the field. I was like, my God,
had to get people to drag him off the field. And this is where I think we talked about Marone in the offseason and whether he was the guy. This is where that mild-mannered, soft-spoken, that shit don't work when you got a team full of wild-ass animals.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Who gonna get in their face, who ain't scared of them. Let me ask you this. I just thought about it. If this season's going left and Jalen's coming up, would you see what you can get?
Oh, for trading him?
Yeah.
That's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility, because what I was going to go to is the season going to start going left. You got Jalen and I think a couple other people on this defense at least that got to get paid. People are going to start going for Dolo. People are going to start going for Dolo. It's, watch. People start going for stacks and they get their numbers up.
Making no business decisions. Don't make them
Hey,
hard hits.
don't make hard hits. Maybe I won't guard my man like I should. I think I can get a pick over here. Let me try to jump this route and give up this touchdown. It's gonna be a lot of going for Dolo on this team.
Yes, sir. That's a good point. I wasn't even thinking about the rest of the team. I was just looking at Jalen, but yeah, that's a good point. All right. The Colts lost to the Chargers, 24-30. Um, Jacoby looked serviceable in this game.
Yeah.
He looked serviceable. San Diego, damn, what? The LA Chargers did what they could do.
Powder Blues.
What's his name? Melvin Gordon. Might want to come on back to work, dog. I honestly don't know. He said he's going to come back somewhere between week 6 and 8.
Right.
What? If they're not negotiating your contract, what are you doing?
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, I was thinking the same thing. Like, why just not go ahead and come back now? The only thing I'm thinking is he is probably hoping somebody gets hurt or has a significant injury at running back that wants to trade for him.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can.
We saw what they want in a trade. Who's giving that up when you ain't guaranteed? Now he's gonna want at least $13 million. So I'm gonna give up a first and a fifth and give you $13 million at running back when I can go April and draft me somebody in the second or third and control them for 5 years. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I might come on back to work because your leverage is out the window.
Right. And they show between Eckler and I forget the other cat's name that they can get it done by committee at the running back spot.
Absolutely. Dude had where is he at? 18 touches, 150 yards, and 3 touchdowns? Shit. Man, please. So yeah, come on back to work. All right, next up, Cincy lost to Seattle 20-21. I don't have much on this game. I saw some of it. What's his name? John Ross looks fast again. That guy they drafted 2 years ago in the first round. He's actually had 2 long touchdowns in this game. I was thinking about it. With his emergence, they already paid, what's that dude? Tyler Boyd this summer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Why would they pay an old wide receiver who keeps getting hurt?
Yeah, I really can't see AJ Green being in their plans myself. We talk about people that need to be getting traded before the deadline. He's one of them.
Yeah. Why would you hand him? I mean, he know he ain't gonna get Julio money. So what? Maybe 18 to 19, guaranteed real money. Why would you do that? He's 31 and can't stay on the field.
Right. I think we got a couple extra draft picks. If he's willing to take like 12 a year. He can come play in San Francisco.
Yeah, there's a lot of places he can go.
Yeah, he can go.
And if I'm them, I'm looking. You shoot me a second, you can have him. Right now, today. So, but that was just an observation I had with it. Seattle's offensive line still isn't very good.
Man, yeah, I didn't see much of this game myself because it was in that 4:00 slot. So my eyes was on obviously my 49er game and then the Dallas game. So I didn't catch much of this game, but I didn't expect it to be that close.
No.
I'm expecting Cincinnati to be in that group with like Miami and, the teams that are in the running for the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah. They went light up there on offense. Got a little bit. I don't know what they're going to – I mean, the defense played solid. They only gave up 21 points. So, but, we'll see going forward. All right.
Seattle had the same issue they had at the beginning of the last year. Run game was non-existent, but again, when you don't have an offensive line, there you go.
They done known this for like 3 years, though. Like 3 years easily. And this has not gotten better. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
All right. The next game, the big game the 4:00 game, not necessarily a big game. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Giants 35-17. Did Dak Prescott make himself $120 million on Sunday?
He had a damn good game. We know he's going to get paid, but this game probably just put the stamp on it. Even though it's the Giants and we don't expect a lot from the Giants, it's still a divisional game, nonetheless. So we'll see how they do going forward. Zeke looked like Zeke. If you can leave Cabo after a month and then step on the NFL and do that, you're kind of fucking talented.
He only had 13 carries at that, but he was effective.
Yeah.
Imagine when he starts getting a full workload. But what I like most is, you remember a couple years ago, maybe 4 to 5, Dallas was just inept. Every move they made in with the team, none of the shit made sense. Look at all this talent they got on their team right now. At damn near every position. Wideouts. They got a decent little tight end. The secondary's coming together. Defensive line.
Yeah. Michael Gallup looked good. We know what Amari can do. Jason Witten
for now.
Yeah, he looked good. Jason Witten, he's there catching his 3-4 yard passes. So they Dallas, they look good. They look good Sunday. They look good Sunday.
See, as far as with Dak, when they play a better defense, because the Giants they're semi-tanking as well.
They put them in that Miami with Miami
last year. So
yeah,
but he looked good. 405 yards, 4 touchdowns, but a lot of them dudes was running wide open. So
yeah, that's true.
But we ain't shitting on you. I got it done. I think it'll be a little bit more testy on Sunday against the Redskins.
Yeah. That's always a good game. Is it in? Is this one in DC?
I think that one's in DC.
Okay. I don't care. The Redskins always give them a tough game when they play in DC. Always. So we'll see how that goes. Next game, week 1, and we got a fucking tie already. The Detroit Lions and the Arizona Cardinals played to a tie, 27-all. Rather than a tie, I think we should petition. We're gonna start a change.org petition.
That'll work.
When a game ends in a tie, there needs to be a board of, say, 5 people that vote on who the real winner is. Because to me, Detroit lost this game.
Yeah, they
versus, you know what I'm saying?
But why don't they just keep playing? Another 5-minute overtime.
Well, they're not going. Like I said, it's safety rule. You can't have dudes out there playing all day. It ain't like basketball. You don't want that when it's coming to football. I think.
Or how about everybody get a field goal then? Something. I mean, ties don't make no sense to me.
I mean, they don't. But what I think they should do is go back to 15-minute quarters and not 10 in the overtime. Now, when they made that change to 10 minutes, that makes it more. That's why we seeing more and more ties, because you got that overtime period that's shorter.
Yeah.
I think they need to extend that back out. If you don't want to do 15 minutes, which is a whole other quarter, at least do 12. But this 10 minutes is obviously not working.
No. Kyler Murray has a really big head. Like, I know I keep saying it like every week. That dude's head is huge, man. They would bat it down a lot of his passes, but I felt like the NFL pushed that button because that only made sense. They needed 7 to tie the game. And he walked right on down the field on Detroit. Now, ain't nobody accused Detroit of having just an all-star defense, but on the road, playing a rookie quarterback, and y'all let him walk down the field on y'all. Larry Fitzgerald, 175 years old. He the only person they got. And his legs got fresh automatically in the second half and couldn't nobody stay with him. But
yeah, Detroit sucks. And for some reason, I don't care how bad Arizona is, they tend to have these games, especially at home, where they pull off these 4-quarter comebacks.
Yeah.
So they tend to kind of have a history of doing that. But this is all on Matt Patricia, pencil boy. He's supposed to be a defensive coach, and your defense is shit.
Yeah, and they spent a top 10 pick on a tight end. Now, the tight end balled this week, but it seemed like they needed defensive help to me instead of taking a tight end. So I hope after this game that nobody from the Cardinals, the executives, I hope they all took Uber. They didn't go, doing like they do, catching them DUIs there. So,
hey, man, that's a DUI culture up there, ain't it?
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, but
your boys.
Detroit, Arizona tie. All right, so now we up to my boys. 49ers, we went down to Tampa, 31-17. Jameis Winston still looks like Jameis Winston. I just don't get it. Now I'll say this. My defense played really, really well. The defensive line looked like they're going to be as advertised, at least after this first game, because they were putting some pressure on them. But some of those passes that he threw, it's the same shit, just a different, just a different day.
I don't get it, man. I swear, there is no more incentive than what he has in front of him.
Right.
He's legit playing for a contract. You can't keep throwing the ball to the other team, Jameis. You can't.
Especially on your side of the field.
Oh my God. But the thing with Jameis that gets me, it don't look like he's comprehending that this shit is fucked up what he's doing. It's just he just looks confused.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And speaking of quarterbacks throwing bad picks, I know it's one game. Again, I think that's my theme for the night.
Yeah.
I think I have a Kirk Cousins on my hands and Jimmy Garoppolo.
You think?
I said it last season. I said it in the off season that my concern wasn't really how he came back from the injury. My concern is what I had concerns about last year. Two things with him connecting with receivers on deep balls, and most importantly, his decision making and trying to fit balls into windows he has no business trying to throw balls to. Another pick six off of a simple 5-7 yard out route. I don't know what he's seeing on some of these plays. I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if he's just not reading the defense right. But I'm nervous about what I'm starting to see as a trend with his decision making. Yeah. Now, as far as playing, staying in the pocket, people falling around his knee, I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable, with that. But he's got to make some better decisions. Now, second,
pass rush look good though.
Pass rush look good, and I'll give Jimmy some credit. He did throw a touchdown pass, and he actually threw two to Kittle, and maybe one other one. They all got called back for penalties.
All got called back, yeah.
So he was out there doing some good things, but I want him to try to cut those turnovers down. The numbers weren't sexy at all. I think he had like 166 yards, or whatever. But all in all, it was a pretty decent game. We went down another running back. Tevin Coleman got hurt. The good news though is just the ankle sprain. Hopefully 1 or 2 weeks he'll be back. But outside of that, receivers they still. We got to do something with those receivers.
Yeah, I heard Pettis, they didn't play him much because he just got back to practice last week.
He just got back to practice last week, and even before he got hurt, Kyle Shanahan through camp kept saying, I want to see more from Dante Pettis. I'm still trying to find a role for Dante Pettis. So I don't know if they know what he is, whether he a slot, whether he a 1, whether he a 2. I still don't really think they know. And so that's why I say my receiving core is just, that's all right, So, but all in all, good. It was good to get a win. I don't think we got an open day win, and I don't know when. So 1-0, got Cincinnati this week. Good chance to go 2-0. So we'll see how it go.
Absolutely. All right, next up, man, didn't see this one coming either. The Sunday night game. I'm glad I didn't reach on this one. It was on the tip of my tongue last week. The New England Patriots kicked Pittsburgh's ass. Is it possible for a game, a 30-point loss, to not seem worse than that?
Right. I get what you're saying.
It seemed way worse than 30.
Yeah.
They were never in this game, ever.
From the word go. We said it. A lot of people have said it. What are they gonna do? No Lev, no Antonio Brown. What is Juju gonna do when the call of coverage rolls to him? Can you have other receivers step up? Dante Moncrief probably dropped 7 balls. I'm exaggerating, of course. He dropped a good amount of balls. James Conner didn't do much in the run game. New England's defense is great.
Hey, you remember last year when they played them? Juju would have had the McCourty twin on him last year. This year, you had Stephon Gilmore. They're number one.
Yeah.
It ain't easy stepping up from robbing the Batman, people. It ain't easy. And I know they sit there talking about, chemistry and we're changing the culture. Man, you let me get that 1,600 receiving yards and that 1,500 all-purpose from Lev back in my lineup. Those are stars. And they're gone, and y'all act like it's just cool. Look, them dudes couldn't get open to save their life at all. None of them wide receivers. And like you
Right.
just said, New England's defense, awesome.
Right. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Now, of course, I don't think Pittsburgh is 3 points bad. I think they got a big game this week, so we'll see how they
I think they
bounce.
got Seattle this week.
Seattle, that's who they got. So we'll see how they bounce back, but they definitely got to have a better showing than this. And I'm pretty sure Tom gonna have them. He'll have them ready to play this week.
Yeah. Next up, we got the first Monday night game of the year. The Houston Texans lost 28-30 to the New Orleans Saints. This was a good game, top to
Mm-hmm.
bottom. This was a really good game. Good scoring, not much defense. Neither team was able to stop a nosebleed. But one thing I gather from this, they gotta win like this year, maybe next. Drew don't have but so much time and so many throws left in that arm. He really
Right.
don't. Y'all really got to get this shit done this year, maybe next. The last 2 years you can say they got jerked in the playoffs, but y'all don't have that much time with him. He can't push that ball far down the field at all.
Right, which makes it even more asinine that on the game winning drive, because I thought Deshaun had sold that thing up, but on the game winning drive, the last play, 6 seconds left. You know they only need a few yards to try to get in field goal range. Why did Romeo Cornell call that damn near basically prevent defense where you got 3 or 4 of your defenders 25, 30 yards down the field? That shit didn't make sense. Right. That shit didn't make sense. Like you said, we know Drew Brees' arm is weak now. They weren't finna throw a Hail Mary because his arm wouldn't make it that far.
No. Maybe Romeo thought they needed a touchdown. Maybe that's what he thought.
Had to be. Had to be.
Let me ask you this: how does Hopkins stay open?
He's always open. He's always open. Michael Thomas is always open. Now, the both of them last night probably dropped more balls than they dropped all of last year.
Right.
Like the basic shit that you play with your kid outside when you're teaching them how to catch, like the tip balls that's like right there. They were missing those, so that was kind of weird. But yeah, man, DeAndre and Michael Thomas, man, them two of my favorite receivers in the league right there.
If you're drafting, starting your team, which one you taking? I know which one I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna ask you.
I want to say it was going to be depending on how my team is built, because Hopkins is more of a speed dude.
That's the way I was gonna go. That dude looked like he shot out of a cannon. He's so damn fast.
Yeah. But I love Michael Thomas too because the physicality that he brings.
You ain't losing with either one of them.
Yeah. They both got great hands, but I think I like Michael Thomas's blocking.
Okay.
A little bit better. I think I like his blocking. But DeAndre is willing. He ain't immune to getting physical, as we saw with the belly to back suplex.
Bruh. The Magnum TA belly to back.
And was legit confused why he got flagged.
Could have broke that dude's neck last night.
Like, come on, DeAndre. As long as I've been watching football, you can't do that.
You could have just touched him down. That would have been enough.
Yeah.
But Alvin Kamara is really good too.
He is. We talk about. I think we alluded to it when we talked about Zeke's deal last week. Him and Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey are the next set of backs to get paid and possibly reset the market again.
Zeke got 50 guaranteed, so it'll probably be 60 going forward. And he gonna get that. He'll get the 60 probably from them because they got to pay him this summer. He's a 3rd round draft pick, so they got to pay him. So Carolina 5th year option. The Giants have a 5th year option because them dudes is first. But Kamara gonna get his this summer. I'm just interested to see what they're gonna do going forward as far as with we're in the now with the quarterback, but Drew ain't gonna be there forever. He's not.
Nah, he's not. And of course, Taysom Hill, aka the real Tebow. I said it.
Yeah. Like I said last night, we was on the personal chat. Taysom Hill is doing exactly what Tim Tebow ass should have did some years ago. Instead of Tebow fucking around in minor league baseball, he should have just said, "I'll be a football player."
Mm-hmm.
Teams wanted him. He could have played tight end, running back. They would have put specialty packages in there for him. You should have did it. Taysom Hill is Tim Tebow, people. Not Diet Tebow. He is Tim Tebow.
Right.
That shit is working. He's on special teams doing everything.
Everything, cuz he's doing everything. I like some Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I do. He's a football player.
But and then you look at Teddy. I think Teddy had a good preseason. I didn't see much of the Saints games. I honestly don't think he is the answer for the future. So you're right. I don't know what New Orleans does.
And they tied up field position guys. They tied up. I mean, they got to pay their players, but that window's now. I mean, they basically got Drew on what a year-to-year contract. It seemed like.
Because I'm gonna hold this, but I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna say it and hold it. I get Drew this year. That's it.
That's it. I mean, essentially, he's had the last 3 to get it done. They kind of got jerked these last 2. This year, they got to get it done.
I mean, I'm saying to the point where I think physically he starts to erode, because one thing about Drew that you don't see with Brady, Drew takes some hits.
Yeah, he do.
Drew takes some hits that you don't see Brady taking. And he ain't the biggest cat. They got him listed at 6 feet. But well, maybe with shoes on. But yeah, I give them this year. Like I said, they've been right there the last 2 years. I think this is their year to get it done, or piss to get off the pot time for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dope that they get all that done in that passing game, and everybody know damn near every ball is going to Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I was saying it last night. You tell me what you think. I still think they need a number 2. I mean, you got Ted Ginn there. They got another little young guy, and they played solid last night. I don't know if that's the answer as a solid number 2.
They should have traded. They should have got Kenny. Well, I guess Kenny Stills is Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
Crabtree would have worked to me, but him and Mike do about the same thing underneath. Jared Cook was brought there to help, but he wasn't really effective last night. So we'll see what happens with it. But we've been saying for 2 years now they need a number 2. Hell, maybe Dez said he gonna think about playing football again in October. They liked them there for that one practice. So
okay. Yeah, for that 48 hours, right? But you're right, man. Kenny Stills is what Ted Ginn was, or what he is for them right now. Which what Robert Meacham was, what Devery Henderson was, what Willie Snead was. They always got that dude that is a deep threat, and that's about it.
That NASCAR package they got going with Houston, with Stills, Fuller, Hop.
Yeah.
Man, and when they get QT back, when they go 4 wide with all that speed on the field, it's a damn shame that Deshaun Watson won't be up long enough to try to get the ball down the field. But
because I don't even know how we could almost get off this game and not talk about he is still taking too many hits.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm seeing out of him that I'm not seeing last year when he was taking a lot of hits. Last year he was holding the damn ball too fucking long. I wasn't seeing that this game. He just didn't have time a lot of times.
Yeah, he had no time.
And shout out to Carlos Hyde, man. I know we was giving shout out to Carlos Hyde a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He still looked good. I think he may have finally found a home here for a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah, these bozos talking about Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson is not going to be the in between the tackles running back for that team. No, stop it.
Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Cowherd was on TV today, and he said that what's going on with Deshaun Watson is basically Andrew Luck all over again because they're not protecting him. It's the same. He got tackled 62 times last year. You start the first game with 6. Man, you remember that speech Jamie gave in Any Given Sunday when they weren't protecting him? That's exactly how I would have went off last night.
Nope.
6 times, game 1.
And it's crazy what he's still able to do with no offensive line.
He stayed in that pocket to take that hit to get that ball down the field.
Imagine if you gave him a line.
Right.
That boy cold, folks. That boy cold.
Yes, sir.
All
I didn't
right.
see a lot of this last game. I think I saw like the first, maybe a little bit into the second quarter. But Oakland beat Denver. 24-16.
I watched more than I thought I was gonna watch.
Okay.
I actually made it into the fourth quarter, late
What
third,
Flacco
fourth
look like?
quarter. Well, who?
What Flacco look like?
Uh, Not great, but not bad.
Okay.
They didn't lose. They didn't lose because of him.
Okay.
I expected the defense to play a little bit better than what they did, and they didn't. Derek Carr looked good last night. Um, Von Miller, I think Von Miller said it best. He said, they pay me to touch and sack the quarterback, and I didn't touch him not one damn time.
Yeah.
So if Denver not getting pressure, you know, I don't know. But you got the no fly zone back there, but Talib ain't there no more. I think it's really just Chris Harris left over
Chris
from that.
Harris, he the last one left.
Yeah. So a lot of Oakland's receivers, and I know that they were amped up and ready to play. They wanted to show that, hey, we don't need AB. So some of that probably involved. So we'll see how they go down. Keep going, but they stepped up to the plate last night and got it done.
Absolutely.
Defense looked real good. Defense looked real good last night. Even Vontaze Burfict looked good last night.
All right. Well, that's a good segue into the last topic. Antonio Brown. We were on here last Wednesday, and he was still a Raider. I don't think any of that foolishness had jumped off when we was on here. That all jumped off Thursday and Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
With the video and the phone call and everything, yeah,
fight,
that had
him threatening to fight Mayock. That was Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think Friday the video dropped, and Saturday he was released. Well, that happened, and he ended up becoming a New England Patriot. People.
6 hours after he got released?
I don't even think it was that long. I really don't think it was that long. He got 1 year, $15 million, 9 guaranteed. He got some incentives on the rest of it. People, we can sit there and shit on this deal and say, well, why would they take a chance on him? They took a chance on him because in a down year last year, he had 104 balls, 1,315 TDs. That was a down year. And I'm looking at their top receivers. They ain't had one of their top receivers get over 1,000 yards. I ain't even put Gronk because he was hurt most of the year. So if you can add that to what they got now, tell me how you're going to defend them.
Yeah, I actually went back to about 2013 and pulled Antonio Brown stats and compared them with the Patriots stats. I'll read some of them off real quick. And I'll go from 2013 to last year, 2018. 2013, 110 balls, 1,499 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2014, 129 catches, 1,698 yards, 13 touchdowns. 2015, 136 catches, 1,834 yards, 10 touchdowns. 2016, down year, 106 balls, 1,284 yards, and 12 touchdowns. 2017, 101 balls, 1,533 yards, 9 touchdowns. And then last year, like you just said, 104 balls, 1,297 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Compared to
everybody knowing the ball was going to him. Everybody.
Right. And if you look at, and I didn't get to go all the way back to 2013 because we were getting ready to come on air, but I went back 4 years. 1,176 yards is the highest any receiving option has had, and of course that was Gronk with 11 touchdowns.
I was about to try to make a guess on it, but it was Gronk. Okay.
It was Gronk. In most years, the last 4 years, 11 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 8 and 7 have been their receiving touchdowns high. And most of them came from, actually none of them came from wide receivers. It was Gronk, Marcellus Bennett led them in 2016, the Super Bowl year. Gronk again, and then last year, you know who they were leading? Who had the most receiving touchdowns for them last year?
James White,
the running back. And Edelman was second with 6. So they haven't had a receiver this dynamic since probably Randy Moss. If I think people need to, and of course you heard all the comments all over the weekend. Some of y'all need to change our comments from, well, I don't think he can do this because blah, 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 to you hope he doesn't do it for XYZ. You're hoping that he fails. Because if you look at the football side of it, the boy can ball. The Patriots always bring these kind of cats in and they comply and they, and they fall in line. Because when you have a strong organization, then that shit doesn't fly. One of the things I thought was a problem in Oakland, lack of veteran leadership. There's nobody in that locker room that was able to reel him in and say, "Look, dog, let's chill out." They're the youngest team in the league. For crying out loud, you got Vontaze Burfict is a captain on that team, and he just walked in the door.
And be a captain.
That lets you know there's no veteran leadership in that locker room. Okay, so when you throw and you mix all that into the equation, come on, be honest, people. You know this could be very successful. Now,
that shit gonna work.
He could clown. He could clown when he gets here. But I highly doubt it because now he's got something to play for. He's got money to recoup. And I think that's the most important piece that we need to really get out of this.
Yeah.
He has money to recoup. He is in a better team. He's got stuff to play for.
He's gonna act a fool at the parade when they win this shit. Then you're gonna see AB back. But it doesn't go the other way with them. People conform and get in line. It doesn't go the other way, people, because when in doubt, they'll cut them. Or Belichick will just have them on the bench. Won't even play them. You know.
Exactly.
It'll work.
Exactly. And you know if you shit on Belichick and you don't act right there and they cut you, nobody else is probably gonna fuck with you.
Last thing
unless it's Miami.
Yeah. The place where players go for their career to die. Brady had some air under that ball on Sunday, huh? He bought 45 too. Huh.
Hey.
Huh.
He been hanging out with LeBron, has
right? He had some air on the ball, about 50 in the air on Sunday, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Him and Josh Gordon had a nice little connection down the field.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens, but I think we're both in agreement that AB is not. He may be a wild animal, but he ain't no damn fool. And he know if he gets a Super Bowl, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell him shit. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing at all. So
Nope, not at all. And last thing on this, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I know why you feel this way, but you shouldn't. What went on with AB in Oakland does not vindicate the Steelers of anything, in my opinion. Ben's still a sucker, and you still football-wise have the same issues that a lot of people have talked about, and they came up on Sunday in the very first game. So stop gloating and being happy that Antonio Brown failed in Oakland and that he's the laughingstock of the league right now. Because exactly. Because guess what? Receivers are always kind of put out there to be bad dudes, even when they do the most minuscule of things. You look at OBJ right back in the news today over a fucking watch. Before that, it was a kicking that and boat things. And y'all start piling these things up like they really fucking matter. At the end of the day, they really don't. It's just noise.
Y'all listening to this show, I hope it's a gang of y'all. The homie just laid it out, but y'all heard those numbers since 2013, right? Y'all heard those numbers. Spoiler alert, if y'all would have guaranteed his money, he'd still be in Pittsburgh.
Still be there.
And y'all would have probably scored more than 3 points on Sunday.
I'm pretty sure.
Turn that shit around. Look at the front office. Should have guaranteed his money. You got Juju on the rookie deal, so the money was there.
Yeah, money was there.
Money's there. You ain't paying nobody on defense. The money's there.
And you know what? And I think it could have been worked out if Ben wasn't a sucker. Because you look at the Steelers and how they do business, and the Rooneys how they do business. Of course, we know they get rid of players early. The owner last year, Rooney, went out of his way doing all this fiasco to meet with Antonio Brown one-on-one, no agents or nothing, to meet with him to try and work it out. That's not something that they do.
Nope.
That lets you know exactly. That lets you know how important they felt he was to this team, and they really wanted to keep him around if it could have been worked out. But with Ben, the guaranteed money, they weren't moving on that, so it was what it was.
Hey, man, they got Dante Moncrief. Let's get up.
Hey, let's do it. All right, people, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We did cover every last basis, and we got it done in the correct time frame.
Yes, sir.
Tonight. Absolutely. Now, again, people, to remind y'all of our schedule for football season, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that means late Tuesday night, so early Wednesday, and probably early Friday is when you should be expecting shows to be posted. So we'll be back on Thursday to record. We're simply going to be giving our picks for week 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get that done right around kickoff.
Yeah,
It seems like they're starting the kickoffs early. I think I saw an 8:10 kickoff or 8:20 kickoff this year. So the game probably will be going on while we're recording.
It's quick though.
But yeah, you know, it is what it is. But we'll be getting those episodes out to you again. This one right here that we're recording, talking to y'all on now, it's episode 186. It'll be up on sometime on tomorrow on all platforms. Remember, if you subscribe, then you get it early before we release it to the masses. So go ahead, click subscribe on YouTube, Apple, iTunes, or Spreaker. And again, you'll get that content. We appreciate y'all. Let's get up out of here. Uncle Hate, tell these people where to reach you at on social media.
At ReK6000. Holla at me. I talk sports.
All right. You can follow me at Diego Barish. I'm on Twitter as well. Don't forget to check out the AA Sportscast Facebook, Twitter, and IG pages. Also, we always load our content onto the Urban Arena page that's on Facebook as well. Again, shout out to the team over there. Glass and them at Get With It Sports, Kane and Ice Show, and JB and Big Q over there at Big Boy TV. Again, baby, but this is AA Sports. Uncle Hate, Diego Barishnikov. We up out of here. We will holler at y'all in a couple of days for our week 2 picks. Until then, y'all be breezy. Peace.